Hey, baby, what's your sign?
Libra, duh.
Oh, yeah, scales. Can I buy you a drink?
Sorry, I don't like cancers. Tried it, didn't like it.
Hey, Red, what's your sign? Mercury must be in retrograde.
Oh yeah, keep telling yourself that one.
Julia Sweeney.
Jim Underdown. Welcome to SkeptiLab.
The Bunk Stops Here. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of SkeptiLab. We're here in Los Angeles at the Center for Inquiry West with my old friend Julia Sweeney. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm happy to be here.
Julia's been on a million TV shows and movies and one-woman shows. Anyway, we're so glad you're here. So today we're going to be talking about astrology. Astrology is the idea that celestial bodies out in space have some sort of an effect on affairs here on Earth. So astrology has been in a big surge in the last few years. And
it has been a couple of bad years for people.
It's been a few bad years, and in a way, you can't really blame people for reaching out to something.
I can, but I agree. I agree.
Well, listen,
They're reaching out for simplifying things.
Right. Well, we're not going to give them a pass here, but we see why this is happening. I mean, let's face it, if it were true, big if, wouldn't it be great if you knew ahead of time what sort of person to date or who to hire or what your day was?
That's what your parents are for.
So yeah, it would be good to know, just based on the position where you were, the day you were born, the position of the stars, lock you in forever. That's you, no changes.
Yeah. It really reduces uncertainty for people, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's your sign forever, no matter what.
Yeah, although my sign changed.
You were born
yes,
again?
It did. I had my second coming. No. My birthday is September 10th, and when I always loved I was a Virgo. I had a big Virgo poster in my room. And then on my 12th birthday, it was approaching and I wanted to have a slumber party. And I went to my mom and said, I'm going to have a big slumber party for my 12th birthday. And she said, oh, I need to tell you something. Your birthday is actually October 10th. And I said, what? And she said, yes, the cutoff date to start kindergarten was September 15th. And you were October 10th. But Julie, you were ready to go to kindergarten. I knew you were ready. So at the doctor's office, I happened to get the receptionist to give me a blank copy of a birth certificate. Yeah. And I filled it all out, and I made your birthday September 10th so you could get into kindergarten. And then I was worried that you would tell on me, so I told you your birthday was September 10th until right this minute. And I said, oh my God. So I realized I was a Libra, and I didn't like that because I like being a Virgo, beautiful woman, buy some water, and now I was just a big scale. But I realized, of course, at 12, when I read the Libra stuff, you could relate to any of it just like I could with the Virgo stuff.
So if you think astrology is old and outdated, think again. It's on the rise and it's big business. I couldn't believe this when I read this, but a quarter of all Americans believe in astrology, and a third of Americans under the age of 40 believe in astrology.
It's so disturbing because it means that it's getting bigger.
I know, they should be smarter.
Maybe that's because people are less religious and so now they're open to different kinds of superstitions.
Yeah, I hope not, but you know what? That's why we're here today. There are many different schools of astrology. They don't even agree with each other. And some of those schools are as old as 4,000 years old. That's pretty
I love it how when people think something's old and that means that it's true.
Automatically
or good. Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are old, like
murder,
racism, hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
Are old.
Yeah. Okay, we got it.
I could go farther in that direction, but But there's all kinds of stuff. There's pet astrologers, there's sports astrologers. Wait, I got a couple of show and tells. Here's the astrology gift guide. Here's a Libra paperweight. I mean, this stuff is everywhere. Even our first lady, we're both old enough to remember this. Remember Nancy Reagan?
Oh, yeah.
She had an astrologer come to the White House.
Oh, God.
And you know Ronnie was listening to that stuff, too.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's horrible.
If Nancy was.
So disturbing.
There's a funny thing. Her astrologer, Joyce Jillson, it was noted, was actually born a Capricorn in the calendar, but just decided to be a Libra.
Well, I guess some people can just switch.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So, how many astrological signs are there?
12.
All right. And then how many people are there in the world?
Let's say 8 billion.
Okay. So how many people are in each category?
All right. So, yeah, divide 8 billion into 12, and you got 666,666,666 in each one of these star signs.
I see the devil's work at play.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's in there.
But actually, Christians don't like astrology, real Christians, because they think it is the devil's work.
Yeah.
It's just a competing religion, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and all based on where these stars and planets are in any given moment. Why don't we talk to our old friend Phil Plait?
Oh, Phil! Who's
actually an astronomer, and Phil can tell us about the stars and what is really happening out there. Phil, help us out here. So we see these 4,000-year-old versions of astrology. Have the skies changed in 4,000 years? Do the stars still line up the way they were when this stuff was made up in the first place?
That's right. The zodiacal constellations, the astrological signs as we think of them now, those were invented thousands of years ago, and they were interpreted by people thousands of years ago, and things have changed. The Earth spins on its axis once per day, but that axis actually wobbles on the sky. It takes about 26,000 years to circle around once, and that changes a lot of how we perceive the sky. It changes where the North Pole of the sky is, and it changes where the constellations are on the sky as well. And what that means is, over the past 4,000 years, what constellation is which in the zodiac has changed. So if somebody says, oh, you were born in late September, you're a Libra, you must have your life very well and balanced. That's not the way it really is. What happens now is that the sun is actually in the constellation of Virgo in late September, so you should be a Virgo. So really, if you're going to base your ideas, you're going to base your science on something that was thought of before we knew the Earth was round, you might want to reconsider.
Parts of the Scorpio constellation, for example, are tens of thousands of light years from Earth. Can anything be that far away from Earth and still have an effect? I mean, we know the moon and the sun have an effect on Earth, but something that's tens of thousands of light years, can that actually have a physical effect on Earth?
These objects are very far away. They can't possibly affect us. If you're talking about the constellations, those are stars that are dozens or hundreds or thousands of light years away. Look at Scorpius, for example. Antares, the brightest star in the heart of the Scorpion. It's 550 light years away, a red supergiant. If that blew up as a supernova, one of the most titanic events in the universe, it doesn't have any effect on us. And if you're saying, well, look, it's actually the moon and the planets. Those are what are pulling on us, and that's what's affecting our lives. Doesn't work that way. When you look at the planets, even Jupiter, the biggest planet in the solar system, is so far away that its gravity on Earth is only 1%, 1/100th of the moon's. So clearly, if astrology were real, the moon would dominate everything. And in fact, it wouldn't anyway, because a bus driving by or standing next to a building, those have roughly the same amount of gravity on you as the moon does. I mean, heck, when you're born, you're inside your mom, and you come out, she's right there. That would be as big of an influence on you as the moon. So I'm thinking it ain't right.
Phil, are these constellations actually next to each other, or does it just look like that from our vantage point?
Yeah, and there's another thing, right? What we see as constellations, these are literally groupings of stars. That's what constellation means, right? And so when you look at something like Scorpius and it looks like a scorpion, or you look at Libra and it looks like scales, I guess, if you're high, that's just the way we perceive them. It doesn't really have to do with anything. Plus, the stars that we see in these constellations are at all different distances. Some of them are very close to the Earth, some of them are very far away, and it's just coincidence in space and time that they look the way they do. Plus, they're not really next to each other in the sky, right? Scorpius and Libra, these aren't structures, they're not things. They're just patterns that we see and have no more realistic effect on us than clouds do in the sky. If you see a cloud that looks like a face, it's not a face. It's not a face.
Thanks a lot, Phil. There's no way these things that are that far away are affecting things happening down on here.
It does seem a bit far-fetched,
Yeah.
but you can see how ancient peoples might believe. I mean, what I don't get is why any modern person believes it.
Right.
I totally get why a person that has no access to the science would believe it.
Exactly. They don't know these things are light years away. You know, that might be just out of reach. for
Right.
them. So, all right, we'll cut them a little slack. But to be fair, we're not just going to go with the science. Julie and I both got our astrology charts done at astrology.com. I hated paying that money. But it was kind of interesting to see what they would say, because we're only born on one day apart.
That's right.
Although a year
Although not
apart.
the same year.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll let you decide who's older. So
we're both Libras.
we're both Libras, and big chunks of the reading were exactly the same. The two readings were like some computer spit this out.
We're both Libras.
Right, okay, that's what they would say.
Yeah.
But so we looked at some of the different readings and stuff, and we wanted to see what was accurate and what wasn't accurate. So we have the readings right here. And
Okay, I have some for you, Jim.
okay,
Throughout your life, you will be attracted to the idea of acting as a spokesperson for a cause, idea, or person whose message seems essential to you. I think that's accurate.
it is accurate, but little did they know I would be a spokesperson against astrology. Didn't say that, did it?
No! For you, family is deeply meaningful.
Oh yeah, that's a tough guess.
You sometimes feel as though you're only masquerading as a respectable, sober adult.
Yes, I do feel that way sometimes.
Your personality is somewhat tense and withdrawn.
I don't think so.
Yeah. You are not aggressive by nature and have a chameleon-like ability to blend in with situations and prevailing moods.
Yes, I am aggressive.
I would
That's
say
stupid.
that's not true. You are. I love how they hide little compliments to you in the middle of everything. You are sensitive, vulnerable, and somewhat easily swayed. That's not true for you.
No, ask my wife. Are you kidding me? All right, here's a few of yours. What do you think of this one? Your father influenced you strongly and imprinted you with positive values.
Yes, and his values of alcoholism and staying married to the wrong woman really filtered down to me.
Okay, little give and take there.
Okay.
Music, literature, painting, and graphic arts are likely to enrich your existence and make it pleasant.
Okay, who is that not true for? Who is that not true for?
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
but yeah, okay.
Yeah, I hate literature, I hate music, I
I
hate
know,
painting.
come on.
And it also said you have definite artistic leanings.
Yeah, like most human beings.
Yeah. Well, you more than most, but
Yeah, but okay, all right.
all right, let's try these now. It says to avoid being tied down, you tend to be skittish when it comes to any profound involvement in a relationship.
I would not say that's true.
No.
I've committed to marriage and parenthood.
Yeah, you've been married some time now.
Yes.
You are fairly inhibited.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. You could read it any
I
way.
know,
Every quality could go 50 different ways. I am inhibited in some ways. Am I naked right now? No, I'm not. You could say that's inhibited. Okay.
And it also says pessimistic and tend to doubt in yourself.
Okay, that's totally true.
Okay. Well, but everyone
Okay, but
has
that's true for
self-doubts.
everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So and then some of these readings also, by the way, say things that in the same exact sentence say both sides of the coin. For instance, on yours it said, you love your own independence and freedom, but you can also merge with a group.
I just don't understand how people read that and just don't start laughing immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so obviously manipulated to appeal and to be true for almost every person.
Yeah.
So why do you think the reading seems so accurate to so many people?
It's something called the Barnum effect, also known as the Forer effect. And it is just that. It's people believing, it's a psychological term, people believing that a description of their personality is directed specifically at them, even though the description could apply to millions of different people.
Yeah.
So that's really...
Is it Barnum as in the circus? Barnum?
Yeah, like...
It's like, okay.
Sucker born every minute kind of thing.
Okay.
So in order to test the Barnum effect, we went out to Hollywood Boulevard and set up an astrology table, free astrology readings, and we put the readings out in little containers like this and let people come up and get their reading and read their particular star sign. And then we asked them to see how accurate each of the readings was to their specific star sign.
So how did the people react?
Well, what we didn't tell them was that all the readings were exactly the same. So let's have a look and see what happened. Hollywood Boulevard, the perfect place for the SkeptiLab team to gather some real-world data on the accuracy of horoscopes. I gotta tell you, I'm scaring myself a little bit. I keep yelling out different zodiac signs to people.
Cancer.
And getting them right.
You're right.
I don't know what's going on. So first of all, what sign are you?
I'm a Gemini, the best sign.
I'm a Scorpio.
Just pick one of the Scorpio.
My sun is in Pisces.
Aries is right there. After selecting their horoscope from the appropriate container, we asked our test subjects to read the description of their star sign to see how accurately it describes them. Do you mind reading it out loud?
Yeah. Do you mind if I put my glasses on? Make it that way.
Oh, you can read it. You want to read it?
No,
I have to read it. I hope it's good now.
What they didn't know is that every reading, no matter what the sign, was exactly the same.
Like all who fall under Capricorn, the sun shines a special light on you.
Like all who fall under Leo,
Like all who fall under Sagittarius. Like all who fall under Gemini.
the sun shines.
Special light on you. Thank you.
Giving you that rare ability to stand out in the crowd.
Even when you think
You're blending in,
your energy sometimes
boundless,
can be infectious, and you're too
modest to see how you inspire others.
How well does that line up with you on a scale of 1 to 10?
I think an 8. No, yeah, 9.
9.
I say a 10.
9. I'd have to say about 10. No, I say a 9 to be exact. A 9.
Definitely a 10. Honestly, if I really could say, I'd probably put it an 11.
Okay, so our vaguely worded horoscope filled with generalized platitudes was clearly hitting the mark.
It said that I don't really go about out of my circle with trusted people, and it's true.
So next, we wanted to see how people would react when we told them the dirty truth behind our little experiment.
I guess you're tricking people now?
How would you feel if I told you that all of these were exactly the same?
I would laugh.
Exchange readings and...
It's the same thing.
It is. Yeah.
What does that tell you?
I'm pretty sure you could just manipulate it so you can feel like it's actually talking to you.
So it's basically like a general statement. It's just common.
Yeah, clickbait.
Is that where manifestation comes from? If you pick it and you say it enough, does it, how he said, does it start mentally changing the way that you think?
Then I guess it's not real?
Does that affect how you think about astrology at all?
No.
Oh, wow.
That's something, huh?
Wow.
So we did readings for a total of 14 different people. Scale of 1 to 10, judging how accurate their readings were. And the average score was like almost 9 out of 10, 8.79 out of 10 for accuracy.
So how would like a famous professional astrologer do in a situation like this?
Yeah, that's a good question, because people, you want to see what the best can do. So we found this clip of Susan Miller, who was on CBS making predictions about at the very beginning of 2020.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Could be.
Yeah.
Let's see what she says.
Yeah.
Well, what do the stars have planned for you in 2020? Whether you want to know what's going to happen in your love life, your career, or life in general, you've come to the right place.
Susan Miller, founder of AstrologyZone.com, is here with a preview of the year ahead. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. This is a great year.
Good.
There's lots going on, and it will be a prosperous year.
That's good to know.
They keep saying recession. No, I don't see it. No,
like
it's
that.
going to be good. Well,
Let's
first of all,
stop it there. I think we got the point. 2020, good year, prosperous.
For Zoom.
Yeah.
But not for most people.
Yeah, and for morticians, and a lot
Right,
of people did all right. But so, yeah, that's a big whiff for someone who's supposed to be one of the best.
Yeah. It's a racket.
It is. Oh, yeah.
Right. This is the thing that makes me the saddest about it. Human beings are highly social animals. That's probably our most unique feature, is how complicated and social we are. And we've evolved to understand, to try to decipher people's personalities and understand them based on observation and time and noticing very minor social cues. And this is like trying to override all of it and say, oh, I'm just going to give you the cheat sheet on it. And it's not even accurate. Yeah. So to me, I think the thing that bothers me the most about astrology is that it encourages people to disable their own systems of observation for like a system of categorization that is ridiculous.
Okay, so in a nutshell, astrology is bankrupt of any scientific information or truth. It's written broadly, it applies to everyone, and it's really not predictive at all. It's a shame that humanity continues to go to things like that. But nevertheless, I want to thank you for coming here.
Of course.
This has been great. And I consulted the astrology gift guide to see what the Libra woman
it's very binary.
would want. Yes.
Because women's gifts are different than men's gifts.
Do you identify as a woman?
I do.
Okay. Then we can continue. So they suggest Bride magazine. Okay, that's a miss. Tape of a bird song.
I can hear birds without having a tape.
Okay.
That's free.
When we were talking on the phone, we were laughing because I was going to use it as a joke. The St. Francis statue.
Oh, I would totally take that.
On a pedestal. I found you one.
Oh, St. Francis.
Thank you for being on SkeptiLab.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that hilarious? Look at that. Look at that haircut. Tune in.
Tonsure. That's what they called it.
That's right. I got one going myself here.
No. It was all based on one guy balded in that way, and then everyone had to do it.
Trends. They've always been with us.
Yes. Thank you. This was fun.
Yeah, thanks for being here, and thanks for tuning in again to SkeptiLab. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Julia.
Thank you so much.
Sweeney,
this was fun.
Everybody. So, do you think you could prove paranormal ability under scientific test conditions? Take a shot at our $500,000. go to cfiig.org. And by the way, hit the like button below. Don't forget to subscribe to the CFI YouTube channel for more interesting content.